You didn't quit. You're really like against all odds. You're doing something that no one in the family has done, that none of your friends have done.
I'm just gonna say the thing you're not supposed to say.
Whatever is mine is looking for me.
You have to know what road to take to get to your final destination.
Everything that you ever wanted is on the other side of fear.
The rapture is apparently supposed to be here on September 23rd. That's what the spiritual psychosis girlies is believing.
Welcome to Between Two Worlds with Yoni. Here we dive into shadow stories, the mirrors of our hidden fears and beliefs. By facing them, we learn we can rewrite the story and choose a new ending for ourselves. Different voices, different faiths, different practices, yet all pointing to the same 3 days. On one side, Christians are preparing for the rapture. In the synagogues, the Jewish community is sounding the shofar for the Feast of Trumpets. Former military personnel are warning us not to believe anything we see on September the 24th. And astrologers remind us that a solar eclipse, a new moon in Virgo, and the autumn equinox mark a powerful reset. Whether you call it prophecy, ritual, caution, or cosmic alignment, something is stirring in the collective. The dates may vary, the language may differ, but the message is the same. Pay attention, because energetically, something is happening.
Jerusalem is preparing for something extraordinary. 100 blasts of the ancient shofar, broadcast live for the entire world to hear during the Feast of Trumpets. Why now? Why this year? What compels Israel to take this ancient ritual, usually confined within synagogues, and amplify it to a global stage? Could it be that Jewish leaders sense something the rest of the world is too distracted to notice? The shofar is no ordinary horn. Forged from the ram's horn, its cry once called Israel's armies into battle, declared the coronation of kings, and summoned entire nations to repentance. Paul writes of another trumpet, one not blown by man, but by heaven itself. In a moment, in the twinkling of an eye, at the last trumpet, the dead will be raised imperishable, and we shall be changed. 1 Corinthians 15:52. History reminds us, God rarely acts without warning. In Noah's day, there was the building of the ark. In Egypt, there were the plagues. In Jerusalem 2,000 years ago, there was the cry of John the Baptist, "Prepare the way of the Lord." And now, the blast of the shofar resounds again. A question rises like thunder. Is this the sound of mere ceremony, or the alarm of prophecy? The prophet Joel wrote, "Blow the trumpet in Zion, sound the alarm on my holy hill. Let all who live in the land tremble, for the day of the Lord is coming." Joel 2:1. For the first time, Israel is preparing to live stream the sound of 100 blasts for the entire globe. Never before has this ancient cry been projected so widely, amplified by modern technology into homes across the earth. To the Apostle Paul's words, "At the last trumpet, we shall be changed, and see in these blasts a rehearsal of the rapture itself, God warning before he moves, God calling before he comes." Many ignored the voice of John the Baptist crying in the wilderness until the Messiah stood before them. Each time, God warned. Each time, signs were given. Each time, the majority missed them.
When you finally start moving up into the air, I recommend that you don't hold on to anything. I definitely don't recommend looking down. I think we learned that lesson from Lot's wife.
So that's real, and Rapture 2025 has taken over my For You page, and I thought people were kidding, but no, there is a large group of people who believe that the Rapture is happening on the 23rd. The woman in that first video is giving Rapture tips, so don't look down. Just embrace it. But there are some other videos and you guys have to see them because I cannot believe that these are real videos. Now, the woman in the next video is very concerned about everybody who is going to be left behind. So she created an instruction manual for everybody. That way they can know what is going on.
It's just like a little flow chart. This one goes over what is happening, what they can expect, and then also like prepping.
Similarly, this woman made a video for people to watch. That way they can understand what actually happened, and she wants us to know that it wasn't aliens.
Are you seeing this video and wondering where all the people went? The people who disappeared or appeared to be unalived in a great mass are not abducted by aliens.
Now, next up, we have a man who has sold his car because he knows that he is no longer going to need it because he is about to be raptured. So he posted a video of his car getting towed away because he does not have a use for it anymore.
But she's gonna go. I won't need her beyond September because I'm going home.
And that one actually made me really sad because there are people out there who truly believe this to the core of their being, that they are no longer going to need their possessions after September 23rd, because some of these people have been listening to online Christian personalities or their pastors telling them that the rapture is coming, and they are making life-altering decisions based on these predictions. And lastly, I have seen a lot of sign-off videos of people letting us know that this is going to be their last video.
This is probably going to be my last video. This morning I woke up and I heard, "Have a nice flight."
I do not know how I ended up on this side of TikTok, but it is insanity, and I'm curious if you guys are seeing these videos too.
On September 24th of this year, so 1 week from today, do not believe anything that you see or hear. And I'm not talking about your day-to-day grocery store run, chit-chat with colleagues. I'm talking about anything startling, shocking, extraordinary, anything that you might consider remarkable, memorable. Why do I say this? Because one of my sources sent me an encrypted message tonight. And usually I get like a paragraph at least, kind of explaining what they're talking about and details of some sort. This was just one sentence, and in all caps it said, "Do not believe anything that you see or hear on 9/24. Now, this isn't one of my military buds that is sometimes wrong or gets delayed information or facts are skewed. This is someone I trust implicitly, has never been wrong. They have no reason to BS me. They don't BS. That's not who they are. They are very, one of those. I've known them most of my life. You don't have to take me seriously. I'm going to take it seriously. Now, what I find interesting, and I don't know if this has any connection to it, is the 24th is also the same day that Israel is going to internationally broadcast their trumpet ceremony. They're going to have 100 rabbis blowing 100 horns to celebrate, all the red heifers that they've burned. And apparently they're going to have all of the ashes leading back all the way to Esther. Which reminds me of something. Project Esther. Now, if you don't know what I'm talking about, go back to my profile. I have a whole video, actually I have two, and they say Project Esther, where I explain what it is and what it's all about. Basically, you better fall into alignment, not be anti-Semitic, and, if you are, you're going to lose certain privileges, like access to the market, access to, society, etc. I go all through it, okay? But isn't it interesting how Project Esther is about anti-Semitism? And they're going to have the ashes from Esther on the 24th. And that also happens to be the day that I was just told, don't believe anything I see or hear. They didn't follow through, but I'm putting 2 and 2 together here. So I hope you can do the math here with me, because obviously here there's only so much I can say. Do the math, babe.
Okay, so I haven't looked yet, but I keep hearing about people People are saying that September 23rd and 24th are looking awfully suspicious, like in addition to the eclipse on the 21st. So I'm going to look now. I'm going to blind react. And then we'll go from there. Okay, I'm looking at it with the US chart. Is it because the moon and Mars are going to meet up in the 12th house of the US chart? Okay, look. I don't love that the moon is going to be conjunct Mars in Scorpio in the 12th house when the moons would fall and the Mars is... Oh. There it is. That's when the Mars-Pluto score is going to go exact and it's going to be conjunct the moon. Oh. The moon's going to be in fall. And the moon in a mundane chart, like a country chart, is the people. And Mars is going to be in its domicile. So it's going to go from not being able to be Mars to being able to be Mars in Scorpio. And the moon can't be the moon in Scorpio. Oh. And then, yeah, so I do notice that Jupiter is going to be conjunct that Mercury retrograde. So I'm thinking, is that why people are saying, like, they're lying to us or, like, don't believe anything you hear? And the moon, since the Mars is going to be conjunct the moon rules that 8th house where everything's happening. Hold on, I'm going to look at the 23rd. Oh, I see, because the moon is going to be squaring the US Mercury. They're lying to us. Okay, that seems pretty straightforward. Transiting Jupiter is also going to be sextiling the US natal Neptune. So that just looks like to me an increase, and it's going to be conjunct that Mercury too. So to me, it almost looks like an increase in like, probably like rhetoric. Oh, okay, yeah, something's going to happen. I feel like something's going to happen and they're going to blame it on the wrong people, right? Because the 8th house in a country's chart can a lot of times be like security vulnerabilities. And you have, like I said, Jupiter conjunct Mercury retrograde, and then you have it sextiling the US Neptune, so it almost looks like this lie. People are gonna be eating that shit up. People are gonna be believing it, and that's why they're telling you don't believe anything you hear. And then here you have Mercury trining the US, the US's Uranus. So maybe they're trying to tell us that like there are open enemies among us. I feel like this is giving like, yeah, they're pulling off a pretty good lie. And then you have Of course, Neptune's going to be retrograde in Aries at the 5th house, and it's going to be squaring, that tracks. So, yeah, and then if you look at the next day, then these are going to be together. Oh, yeah, when you look at it like that, like when you put together that little storyline, oh, okay, that's why they're saying that. Okay, I'm gonna echo that. I'm gonna echo that little don't believe anything you hear. And if you heard from the government, it's not true. Though this probably isn't gonna reach the right people, so what are you gonna do? Wait, okay, I had some afterthoughts. This is religious psychosis. Saturn, this is happening in the Pisces Virgo fucking axis. And I said something about Jupiter sextiling Neptune in the 10th house. And this eclipse cycle started off in Pisces of like religion, and it's happening in like the 4th and 10th house axis. So I'm pretty sure the 4th is like our roots, like the roots of our country, right? And the 8th house, where the Jupiter sextiling Neptune, is ruled by the moon, the people, right? Which is going to be conjunct Mars and Scorpio. And then it's sextiling that Neptune, which rules Pisces, the 4th house. And Neptune's also, like, Neptune and Pisces are associated with religion. And so with Mercury being involved in this too, I'm seeing like words being spoken. Like there are things being said, and it has to do, it's going to be like, they're going to try to make it part of our legacy, like 10th house legacy type shit. I actually firmly do think that they are going to try and change like the US history, like our legacy. And I think that they are going to try and like induce religious psychosis in everyone following this eclipse, like following Charlie's funeral. They're going to use it for something. They're going to be saying some crazy shit. I fully believe that's what's going to happen. Either they are in religious psychosis, or they are not in religious psychosis, but they're trying to put everyone else into religious psychosis. I deadass think that's what's happening, and honestly, we already saw it start to happen right after Charlie got shot, right after the first eclipse of Pisces. Oh, just popping in again. It has come to my attention that Rapture 2025 is trending on TikTok because they think that there's going to be a rapture on September 23rd. Guys, I promise you, full honesty, when I made that video, I did not know they were already talking about a rapture on September 23rd. I did not know. Wait, they actually think the rapture is coming. Aren't they not supposed to know? Okay, this is exactly what I'm talking about. This is exactly what I'm talking about. People are going to be bugging out. People are going to be out of their goddamn minds. Oh, it's going to be the kooky circus.
So I have to ask, do you feel like all of these timelines, different worlds are syncing together right now? Because that's what it feels like. The Christians are preparing for the rapture, saying this could be the moment we're called home. The Jewish community is lifting the shofar for the Feast of Trumpets, sounding an ancient call for reflection and renewal. But then the ex-military voices are stepping in, warning the public not to trust what's circulating on September the 24th. And then also astrologers are pointing at the skies, the solar eclipse, the Virgo new moon, and the autumn equinox all aligning as a cosmic reset. So is there really a rapture, or is this the official birth of a new world? Does this complete the true end of the old world and we're now stepping into the new world and all timelines are collapsing together?
Have you seen the lady who's prepping for the rapture for the damned souls that are left behind? This is Melissa, and she's making a detailed list of all the things she's doing before the rapture so that those of us who were left behind can still have a chance, I guess. Nice thought. She's making protein balls. She's putting auto pay utilities. That one took me out. She laminated all of these handwritten cards. Like, where did everyone go? Well, Melissa's going to tell you. Nice little stack of scripture and what it means to her. A letter signed a raptured Christian. A stack of Bibles with handwritten notes saying that there's still time to become a believer and to join them in ascension. These are freaking wild. Emergency water storage system, you know. Because I guess God will take infrastructure when he takes the Christians. Labeling where all the medicine is in their house, even though people live there and they already know that. This whole situation took me out. A flow chart that I suppose is supposed to mean something to someone, even though things don't just become significant because you put them in a chart. Detailed visual descriptions of what they think is going to happen in what order based on the Bible. The scripture related to all of it and what people should do. Avoid, endure torment, and avoid war zones. People have also gone on and asked her to make these like postable. So she posted them, just the graphic, so people could screenshot it. What is she going to do on September 26th when she is still here and her children and everyone she knows has seen all this?
Okay, guys. I think I have more Feast of Trumpets Rapture confirmation, and this may be my favorite one so far. I posted a video yesterday of 3 minor Feast of Trumpets Rapture confirmations. And the first one I talked about was with my 9-year-old daughter, and how the Lord spoke something to her in a different language, and it turned out to be Rosh Chodesh, which means new moon. Now, why this was significant is because of the vision he gave her prior to that. Go watch the video before this if you want more details. I don't want to drag this video on forever. Rosh Chodesh means new moon. And Feast of Trumpets is the only feast that is centered around the new moon. And the Lord has been showing me in scripture for the last week in Amos 8 how this ties to the rapture and to the beginning of tribulation. That whole chapter is about that. And it mentions the new moon, and it mentions twice about how the Lord will be turning their feasts into mourning and lamentation and grieving. So it ties in to the rapture, the new moon feast, the Feast of Trumpets, the rapture and tribulation beginning. As I was getting my 3-year-old ready for nap, he was not wanting to take a nap. I was chasing him all over the room, trying to get him to put a pull-up on so he could lay down. And he started saying something over and over again, like he says it all the time. Let me show it to you so you can see for yourself. Hudson, hold on. Can you tell me what you were just saying?
Rosh Kodesh.
Say it again. What?
Rosh Kodesh.
Rosh Kodesh?
Yes.
Why are you saying that? Are you as baffled as I am? When this whole thing happened with Mackenzie the first time, where the Lord spoke it to her and she had no clue what he was saying or what it meant, he was asleep taking a nap. And then when I recorded my video and posted it, he was taking a nap. And the irony of this is I was just watching a video sent to me by a brother in Christ of a woman who had compiled a bunch of interactions children have had with the Lord, visions and things like that. And of course, I already share things that my kids have experienced, hearing from the Lord, visions and dreams, etc. But my 3-year-old is 3, so the things that he has experienced are few and far between. So for him to start saying this, to me, is just more confirmation. Because he did not know this word. We're going home. I already was convinced. But the Lord just keeps giving little, I don't even want to call them little, these are huge. He keeps giving confirmations every single day.
Apparently, y'all, the rapture's happening again on September 23rd. As in next week. As in 3 days, bitch. Yes, honey, the evangelicals are packing their bags for the rapture like it's a Spirit Airlines flight to heaven. See, they believe that It's Not Real is doing ancient spiritual rituals that they haven't done in like thousands of years. Real ancient temple shit, yeah. And they believe that the stars and planets are lining up perfectly to fulfill Bible prophecy. So basically, Jesus is about to pop up because Mercury is in retrograde. And ain't these the same people who told us that astrology was demonic? But now they're in full-blown horoscope mode. Like, Venus is aligned with Virgo, and trumpets are blowing, so Jesus Uber is about 2 minutes away. Pack your bags. Y'all be so fucking serious. Y'all, they're literally making prep videos, leaving little notes and charts and diagrams and instructions for people left behind. They're stocking food for their neighbors that they think are going to get left behind. They're selling all of their worldly possessions. They're even giving how-to guides on what not to do when you're up, floating in the air. It's giving religious doomsday Pinterest board. It's giving religious psychosis meets HGTV. But honestly, if all the evangelicals do get sucked up into the air on September 23rd, which is in 3 days, I see nothing but blessings. Lines at the store will be shorter, pride parades in schools will be safer, more books in the libraries, less bans, less of us will be found mysteriously hanging from trees, there won't be any more groypers in government, and we might just be able to go through a day without having a Bible thrown at our heads. No, I don't think the sky's about to crack open and we're going to see Jesus pop on out. But if he did, that would be quite a sight to see all these people go into shock when they see a brown Palestinian man pop on up out them clouds. And not that white, blonde-headed man straight from the European, Grecian, ancient world that they obsess over. But again, no, I don't think that's going to happen. But if it did, don't cry for them, Argentina. But maybe instead rejoice for us, because baby, I don't know about you, but to me, that sounds like freedom. That sounds like the resolution that we all need. I'm just saying.
Did anybody else somehow end up on Rapture TikTok? It's a bunch of Christians and other people who think the rapture is going to happen on the 23rd. And all I can think of is like spiritual psychosis. Or I guess you could say it's like religious psychosis. 5 more days until Jesus comes. We're almost there, guys. We just... one last milestone. I literally saw a woman who was literally acting just like that on my For You page. Like, organically, I didn't search for this, didn't even know this was going on. We've been hearing about the rapture for hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years, maybe even millennia, right? I think a lot of these people are just using the rapture as a cop-out to give up on themselves and their dreams and their life they want to create, right? In other words, they're living in apathy. But some of us haven't given up on our life or our dream or the life that we want to live. And I understand the world is crazy right now and it's very chaotic, but you can still create the life that you want to live. You can still find peace even in all the chaos. Truly, I just think that it's people going through psychosis. They don't know how to handle the stress in their own life and what they see going on in the world, the events, which is why you should turn off the news and social media, and they just look for a cop-out basically to escape, which I'm not saying it to make fun of anyone, but that's just my observation.
The rapture is apparently supposed to be here on September 23rd. That's what the spiritual psychosis girlies is believing. Listen, I'm 30 years old. This about the 17th rapture that was supposed to be planned and scheduled during my lifetime, and I only been here 3 little fickle ass 30 years. Glory be. I wish y'all asses would just go already. I wish y'all asses would just pack them bags and levitate your goddamn self so we don't gotta keep waiting on y'all, waiting on him. Shit. The world done supposed to end a couple times. Baby, you stuck here. Okay? I'm no expert. I'm no spiritual expert. But if I remember correctly, it say none of us will know the time or the hour or the day. So I'm confused of why y'all confused every single time y'all go into spiritual psychosis thinking that the rapture is finna come. Baby, we've been in the final days for all the days I've been around. Hang it up.
Happy Saturday evening. It's about 20 minutes after 10 West Coast time. Boy, howdy. I went down a rabbit hole on TikTok. I got onto the impending rapture side of TikTok. Apparently, the rapture is going to happen in 3 days on Tuesday, September 23rd. People are selling their things. I've seen videos from people who are selling their cars. They won't need them anymore. I'm not sure why you're selling it. You're not going to need the money from the sale unless you plan on spending that money in the next 3 days. People are selling their stuff. They're getting their houses in order. They're leaving things for people who don't get raptured. It's crazy. I saw a video from a woman giving like practical rapture tips. Like when you get raptured and you start going up, she was like, don't hold on to anything and don't look down. Just look up and just go and be free and don't hold on to anything. But then I started thinking, you know, Christians and evangelical Christians in the United States, like what could we do as a nation without them? What could we accomplish as a country without evangelical Christians in the United States anymore? We could have health care for everybody. We could fully restore and protect abortion rights. We could make all medical debt dischargeable in bankruptcy. We could have actual gun reform. We could end homelessness because all these people that are getting raptured, their houses are going to be empty. So homeless people will be able to take their pick and move into a house. And presumably there'll be a couple of cars left behind as well. You know, so you could just do that on like a first come, first served basis. We could undo literally every single thing that Donald Trump has done in the last 9 months. We could outlaw AIPAC and the Heritage Foundation and Fox News. I'm kind of kidding about the Fox News thing. We could demilitarize the police nationwide. We could tax the shit out of rich people and corporations. We could tax any remaining churches of whatever kind. We could actually do climate change policy. We could bring back DEI and critical race theory. Hell, we could teach critical race theory in kindergarten. We could stop as a nation demonizing the LGBTQ community and trans people and immigrants and women and the disabled and black and brown people. And we could prosecute any Republicans who are left behind for the things they've done during the Trump administration. Legalize marijuana nationwide. Make student loans dischargeable in bankruptcy again. We could have socialized college for people. And we could finally release the Epstein files. Because all of the evangelical Christians who are on the list are going to be gone. So that's just a quick list that I came up with off the top of my head. If you guys have any other ideas about the things that we could accomplish as a nation if we no longer had evangelical Republicans living in the United States, we could finally achieve some truly great things, I think.
Now listen, I'm not making this video to fearmonger anyone. I am simply making this video to bring awareness just in case something does happen, something is off. There is no need for you to panic. There is a need for you to remain calm because there is a lot going on, especially within the next 3 days. And as things unfold, like potentially the rapture, the Feast of Trumpets, the warnings of the ex-military personnel regarding September the 24th, and the eclipse, plus the equinox reset, we can see how different voices, different traditions, and different perspectives are all converging in the same moment, which in my opinion is all converging or collapsing to the same timeline, which makes me believe, which is just strictly my opinion, that one cycle is closing for a new cycle to begin. And in my opinion, I believe this is the official end of the old world as we step into the new one, and we are all merging to the same timeline. That is my opinion, but I would love to hear your thoughts and your opinions down below in the comment section. Or do you think that the rapture will actually in fact happen? Do you think that the United States government is up to some weird stuff? Comment down below. I would love to hear from you. Please keep it respectful in the comments, and I'll catch you in my next one.
This is my opinion. I'm free to state my opinion anytime I like, right? Thank you.
I don't want you to feel like that, but yeah, feel like that.